We're going to look at the data and we're going to figure out from a perspective of someone, number one, that lives here, and number two, that actually has access to how many homes sold, how many homes are still on the market, what percentage is different, because I think that's the most important thing, is taking into account and factoring in what happened in the past and what's happening now. Perfect. Now let's go look at my Loom and talk about the data.
All right, let's look at the numbers, people. So a few things, right? Number one, look at the data here. It says a lot and it shows a ton of things. And when we compare these, well, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's look at the single family residential in the last 24 hours, and then let's look at the last 7 days. In the last 24 hours, which today is October 1st. If you're watching this video today, it's October 1st. I just want you to put in the comments, these guys work fast and they work hard, because it's October 1st and we're putting this video out there. Kind of crazy. But on October 1st, when we look at the data here, 10 price decreases, 1 price increase, and 26 new listings. When most people list their homes, generally speaking, they're listing it on a Wednesday or a Thursday. Today is a Tuesday. So when you look at new listings, I don't think this number necessarily makes as much sense, or in terms of appearances, what it really shows, because more people tend to be active during the weekends for showings, more people have time off. So listing your home on a Monday or Tuesday isn't the best move. Back on market too, meaning that a house either fell through with the contract or something didn't work out. 4 continuous showings, which just means that the house is technically under contract, but people are still okay to walk through it. Do not show means they're probably preparing some things, fixing things up. Pending just means the house and the seller have something in agreement. 2 of these are actually mine, I believe. 2 of these are mine. 34 sold, house sold. 1 withdrawal, 24 expired. This is a big number. And 3 temporarily off market. So this is a big number. This is a big number, because when we look at the data and we look at what's happening in the last 7 days as well, we've had 46 homes that have expired. And out of the 46 homes, we've had 24 that have expired today. Today is October 1st. Most of these homes expired because when you write a contract, generally speaking, the contract is going to be 30 or 60 days for whatever time duration. And when you look at all the things and all the factors that play its own role, well, first and foremost, it's going to be apparent that I've been using the word apparent a lot, which is kind of crazy. I don't know, it's my favorite word now, I guess. What's your favorite word? Let me know. But it's going to be, well, I don't want to say apparent. It's going to be there. Most people have contracts that end on the first of the month. So when you are looking to purchase a home and you're looking at some options, well, you might have a lot more inventory to mess around with that's potentially off market. Let's look at the last 7 days. I want you to look at the colors on the bar graphs and see if anything shifts. Nothing much, right? Nothing much. The only thing that really shifted is the expires. But we've noticed 200 new listings on the market, 108 under contract, and 193 that have sold, which is, hey, it's got its perks, that's not terrible, but this is also just single family residential. When you look at cross properties and you look at everything else, there's a ton more that's accessible. Last 24 hours with the cross properties, 234 that expired, and that just means everything. Condos, townhouses, we don't really have that many condos and townhouses in Rochester, right? So it's single family is going to be more apparent than anything else, apparent again. But that's what that looks like here. If we customize this, Rochester, so the upper area, but 140 expired, 180 new market. In the last 7 days alone, we've had 935 new listings and 292 that have expired. What does this mean? Right, in terms of data and what this data really configurates itself into, there's a few standpoints that are super duper there. First and foremost, homes are still selling. There's no question about that. I need people to realize that homes are still selling and homes will still sell. Why? Because people need to purchase and sell. People need to make a move. Generally speaking, with our clients, and I've talked to a lot of my real estate partners and a lot of my friends, and they all say the same thing. Generally speaking, it's life events that change. It's life events that curate you to make a move, right? A buddy of mine, the reason that he bought a house on I think it was Carlsbad, California, was because one day him and his wife said, "Oh my God, it's 110 degrees in Arizona, and I want to move." Boom. That's a reason, right? So when we are looking to make anything, And when something is happening in our lives, that's going to play a more affluent role than any interest rates could ever. I think about it from the perspective of the D's, right? Death, divorce, diploma, diapers. So when you think about those things and you play all those roles, then obviously people are going to still purchase. And at the same time, people are still going to sell. Same scenario. Death, divorce, diapers, diploma. People will still, and diamonds too if you want to consider marriage. But people will still sell. So I think in terms of scenario and in terms of anything that is happening, it's not going to stop. Real estate will never stop moving. Its fluidity is always there. The only caveat and the only thing that I want to talk about here is it's slowing down. But why? Why has it slowed down? Well, because in terms of market conditions and in terms of what's going on now, you have to realize it's October. Kids are in school. People are actually preparing for Thanksgiving and getting their turkey out. It's time where people are spending with their family and they don't want people to be walking around the house thinking about selling, doing this, doing that. I mean, it makes, you know what I mean? It makes sense. But at the same time, if something happens in someone's life which forces them, or is something so great or so bad that it makes them move, they'll move. And I'm going to talk about this in a little bit later when I get back on my camera. I've planned everything out, but I'm going to talk about when people hire and when companies hire. And when you are looking to purchase a property, you might think you have no competition here, but you do, because companies now tend to hire. But I'll get into that in a little bit. I'm going to go back and show you the data and look at this from a data perspective, because I think that's really important. We look at these numbers and make sure you have this here, you can see everything. But I want to show you in terms of percentage and what's shifting and what's changing and what's all that kind of thing. And then we'll just take it from there. But let's get to that. And also, hey, real estate needs, give us a call. See what the data has to say about what's going on in Rochester and, well, the homes in Rochester as well. Looking at this here in terms of a market statistic and in terms of what is absolutely happening, you're seeing a few things. Number one, in the last, same month prior year, the median home price has gone up. We know this, inflation, right? Closed sales have gone down. And we talk about this a lot. I've mentioned this in every single one of my videos that closed sales will go down. Active inventory has gone down and new listings have gone down as well. And I've mentioned every single thing here because well, higher rates, election year, Harris's very unconventional taxation, which I don't think I'll go through, fingers crossed, but it's going down. Median price, the only three things that have gone up is inflationary period of this, which is a causation and correlation of this, and this, which is a correlation of this. If we look at the prior months, median sale price has gone down because buyers now have the ability to actually write on a property and say, hey, listen, really interesting things there, right? When we look at not all of these counties, but we look at just Monroe County, we're going to see a few things. Prior month, what's going down? Look at this. Active inventory is down 15%. Do you guys notice how often I actually emphasize my words? It's become human nature for me at this perspective, at this point, because I'm so intrigued by this. This is so much fun for me. I'm just kind of thing. I hope you can deal with my personality. But if you look active, again, I do, it's subconscious at this point. Active inventory is down 15%. New listings are down 11%. Median sold, every single number is down except median days on market. And median days on market essentially can contribute to, because of correlation, not causation, I want to emphasize. It can move on to the point. The higher this number is, if this number is ever in the green, then this number is going to come down and this number is going to come down. If this number is ever in the green, you can guess this number, and this number are coming down. Just you can guess. But that's what that looks like in terms of Monroe County. And this is single family residence. If we look at every single type of property, it's the exact same thing, right? Median sold price, New listings are down, active inventory is down, closed sales are down. Just kind of how that works. That's that. But let's look at the market review. This is my favorite one that I want to look at, is weekly trends, because the weekly trends tell you a lot more than most people think. But if we look at the last 13 months in comparison, so October, August of 2023 till now, what we see here again, and it's the exact same thing, guys, right? The cost of living is up. It's gone up. So if this was 200 and it dipped in February, which is interesting, 195, 260. February is usually the slowest month real estate transactions. Closed sales, it's actually, compared to July of 2024, it's kind of up, but compared to August, it's down because August was kind of a hoop and a half. In terms of days on market, 8 days, 9 days, it's pretty typical here, but compared to July, it's still up, because July is when most people purchase a home, right? Listing price, inventory is really important that we want to talk about. New listings, compared to August, we're down 7%, and compared to July, we're down. And I've talked about both these things and how that's going to happen. And compared to active inventory, we're down to 3.5 and 3.2. Now, what does this mean for you? Well, what this means is if you're looking to purchase a home, you have less options that are available on market. And I keep talking about on market because it's important the agent that you choose looks off market. On market, the homes that you see are not as readily available. So you want to make sure you're looking off market. This is not saying, I want to make sure that we understand this, guys and girls. This is not saying that only 4,839 people want to buy a house in Rochester. That is not what that is saying. That is saying that as an agent, we were only able to find 4,839 people that wanted to buy a home. That is all that is saying. So that's what that looks like here. You want to find off-market deals. I keep stressing that as much as possible. We're not going to select all. We're going to go just to Monroe County because that's kind of where we live. And if we look at the data in Monroe County alone, and I want to do your day too as well, it's the exact same thing, right? Like, look at this. New listings have gone down. Active inventory has gone down. Closed transactions have gone down. If we look year to date and just see what's going on from this perspective, cost of living is more. Closed transactions is pretty similar. Median days on market is higher. List price, square footage, all this, right? And this is in August. Like it's just August. Like it's not, anywhere else. If I wish we had the data for now, which is, I wish we had the data for now, but that's all we have the data for here. So again, the numbers aren't changing that much, but the deals, the transaction counts, I do think it's going to come down. I just do. I think this number, if we get to, not August, but October, November, even December, I hope 2025, when we look at this information, I think these numbers are going to be in the red, in my opinion. Well, you got a lot of things happening, but that's kind of that. In terms of this, and this is really important because I think this is vital. When you look at the weekly data and you see some things that are happening, number one, the weekly end price came down from 255,000 literally 2 weeks ago to 239. That's sale price. If you look at closed sales, we're down 30%. We're down 50% in closed sales. Now, what on earth does this mean? It means a few things. Number one, it means that homes are not selling at the speed that they used to. It also means homes are not being listed at the speed that they used to. And finally, it means people are not purchasing homes at the speed that they used to. 50% decrease in a week is astronomically high. You look, and this is August, we were 870. This number is crazy, guys. This number is nuts. What do I think it's going to happen with this? What do I think is going to happen? Well, we don't know. I think this number is going to stay pretty similar. I think it's going to go down a little bit, but not by like a drastic amount, just because, well, first and foremost, people are still going to sell. We're going to talk about that in the video that we're going to shoot here. People are still going to sell, number one. But secondarily, I also think that when you are looking at this from a data perspective and you are seeing, hey, November, December, worst times to make a move, statistically speaking, because school, holidays, I don't think it's going to move that much. But when you compare this number from, week ending of the 28th, and then maybe next week, so what's the maybe Friday the 4th or even the 11th, these percentages aren't going to be that different. Sold price per square foot, we're just going to see it in the red. I mean, it's not going to be like, it's nothing crazy, you know what I mean? So this isn't anything to write home about. Percentage of list price received. This is an interesting one. Generally speaking, when you are purchasing a home, and I think this has more to do with the agent than anything else, and here's why. We, for the longest time, when you look at Trump, and when you look at what's happening for trauma, it's not just the part about trauma that hurts is not just the fact that you're affected by the action in one time, you're affected by the action for a large duration of time. And that's what sucks. That's kind of where we're at here. For the longest time, we have been in a situation in which we've had to write way above asking price. $20, $30, $50, $100,000 per asking price. We don't need to do that anymore. And if you're an agent watching this, we don't need to do that. Are certain homes going to go above asking price because agents decide to list it 100 grand below market value? Of course, but they're shitty agents. I think we can go back to a number in which this can stay below 100 because the market is changing. And if you look, because my point is correct, if you look in February, we were at 101. We have gone up a little bit, but compared to the last weeks, we are going down. When you see a home, in terms of writing an offer, what is the number one most important thing that you look for? Put it in the comments below. What is the most important thing? I'll tell you from my perspective. You got it? Okay, first and foremost, is it price? Is it days on market? Is it location? Amenities? What do you think it is? I think, from my professional opinion, days on market. Why? Because days on market has a direct correlation with what price you get. If a home has been sitting on the market for a month, but I like it, I know that no one else likes it, right? Days on market is the most important thing. And as days on market gets higher, because that's, well, again, the next thing that we're going to see, as days on market tends to get higher, right? Exactly. This number should go lower. Thank you for my TikTok. And that's days on market. So we're at 9 days on market. When you look again in February, we're at 26, which is nuts, crazy ballistics, right? This number is going to go higher. There's no question about it. I'm willing to bet I don't know what I'm willing to bet, but I'm willing to bet this number is going to be at least 13 or 15. Sold dollar volume. I mean, these numbers aren't going to be, it's not crazy to look at, but yeah, like when you look at it from last week and this week, you see what I'm talking about, kind of thing. Active inventory is going to go down. Every single number is going to be in the red, guys. Like every single number, because eventually the active inventory is going to have to become expired inventory. And if it becomes expired, then it's like, okay, great, this number is going to be red, right? Week supply of inventory. There's more. Why? Because no one is buying. That's the thing. I think it's called SPY for like the S&P 500, but it has a direct opposite correlation with what the S&P is doing. And that's the exact same thing. Week supply of inventory. The higher this number is, the lower this number will be. So that's that. Weekly supply. I mean, again, you see it here, right? 7%. New pending sales. Not as much. I mean, we're still up a little bit, but compared to past, it's nothing to think about. So that's that. And there's one other thing. There's actually a few things that I want to look at, and then we'll call it quits, and then go back to my, my regularly timed program. But I want us to look at unsold listings. Yeah, crazy. 15% higher than last week alone. 300. This is nuts. That's nuts. But yeah, I mean, we talked about this so much, guys, that I'm not even gonna look at it. Original list price, we're up, which is kind of crazy to me. But that's kind of what that looks like there. And then we'll go back and look at the other things. But that's, when you look at the percentage of cash sales, like even cash sales are going down. But that's really it. I mean, those things, those correlations are going to be there. And it's not just one number isn't affluent with the other. All of these numbers play its own role. And I think that's the most important thing, is that every single one of those roles, when it's active inventory, when it's unsold inventory, expired, they're going to play a role on how much people are getting for it. And that's kind of what that looks like by month, by quarter. I want to look at no breakouts. This is fine. Time series, if we look at price distribution, I don't know why it's not getting whatever. Filters, let's call it just Greater Rochester. We'll see what that looks like. Why is this not moving? Oh gosh, it's kind of annoying. Why is this not moving? There we go. Yep. I mean, you're seeing it here, right? In terms of median price sales, like it's dipping down for the first time in a very long time. Close sales, everything is going to be a dip. Like everything is going to be a dip, right? You're seeing it's just median days on. Let's look at active inventory. This one's going to be opposite. It's going to be rising, right? So for the first time in a very long time, we're actually rising. 2016, which is crazy, 3,000 homes. New listings. This is going to be a dip. Oh, sorry. Yep. So guys, that's what that looks like. We're going to go back to my office. I'm going to talk to you from an open head perspective of just my camera. I'm going to show you a few things, and I want to talk about how to win in today's market, because there are lots of questions like, hey, Jan, like all this data is there. What do I do to win? Let's look at it. I'll see you there. And if you like these videos, like and subscribe.
Okay, perfect. Now that we've looked at the data, there's a few things that I want to talk about from a personal anecdote perspective. First and foremost, when we're buying a house and when our clients are purchasing a property, we let them know really straight up, hey, listen, the market has shifted in your favor, but not by a lot. Because you see, the market isn't anywhere near what 2019, 2018 was. And if you want to take into factors of, interest rates in 2021 and 2022, we're not near that either. So there's definitely a lot of things that is happening that's always playing its role. And when you are looking to buy a house and you're looking at the numbers from past and comparing it to now, it kind of blows your mind. So when you're looking to buy a house, a few things that I want to say. Number one, first and foremost, look at properties that are not accessible on the market. So properties that are potentially off-market deals, homes that you don't have to compete with other people for. I think that is the kicker. There's always 4 ways to generate business: warm outreach, cold outreach, ads, and content creation. Make sure your agent is doing all of these things, and to make sure that you have the accessibility to find the properties of your dream. The second thing that I want to talk about, when you're looking to sell your home, first and foremost, marketing from a perspective of, the buyer is going to be super vital. And here's what I mean. When you're staging a home and when you're looking to sell a piece of property, you want to make sure that when someone sees it, they can see themselves and envision themselves living there. So what that means for you is when you're selling your home, declutter everything. Make it look as simple as possible without any memorabilia, without any ideas of this and that, and take the ego out of selling your home. So you want to make sure you have both of those things into account. But as October rolls around, because we shoot and edit these videos on the same day, pretty cool, right? As October rolls around, in November and December, a few things have to be considered. Number one, first and foremost, this is the time when most people are hiring. Microsoft, Boeing, Apple, Amazon, those big companies which don't really reside here, but this is when they hire, statistically speaking. And as such, it's also going to be when Strong Hospital, when RIT, when U of R decides to start hiring. So when we're looking to sell the home, there's a lot of doctors and a lot of people making that move here. And especially on that thing in Jefferson next to Highland, and the Starbucks, the Target, the Best Buy that's over on Jefferson, they're building another hospital. More doctors are coming here. We're talking about like 400 people. That's homes that people need for. So when you're looking to sell, you've got that option. And I always say, hey, listen, when someone's coming here, especially to work in January, they're gonna start looking in November. If you're looking to buy, at the same time, it's also going to be less competitive. Here's why. Most people, especially people that, number one, have children, that, have maybe a summertime off job kind of thing, they're back to work, they're back to school. No parent, most parents, don't want to make a move right in the middle of the school year and have to just drop everything and switch. It becomes an absolute headache, especially when you have children. So you do have less competition. At the same time, even if you take competition out of its own factors, you're still going to have a lot of things to combat. Well, first and foremost, you're going to have to combat the fact that interest rates are high. So think about looking at buy down rates. Look at grants that exist. And I know that I'm supposed to make a video about the grant. I'm going to try to have my loan officer partner here sometime this week or next week to get that video going. But look at some grant options that can potentially help you and actually make it accessible. Sony May is a fantastic program that gives up to $30,000, don't quote me on that, to actually help you purchase a property. So that's all there. And if you're looking to invest in real estate, I think deals are always going to exist. My quote is this: hustlers will always hustle. If you have the opportunity, there will always be an opportunity for you. If you seek it, it'll exist. Luck is created when opportunity meets preparation. So if you're looking to invest, again, with the 4 ideas that we talked about, look at using and finding off-market properties. The best deal as a buyer is when you find someone that wants to sell their house that no one else knows wants to sell their house. So all of those things have to be taken into account. We looked at the data, we looked at the numbers, and all of these things are, they're gonna play a role in you deciding something. And I just wanna say this: if you are thinking about making a move, there's 10 things that you absolutely have to know. 9 of them, I'll take care of. The only thing you gotta do is give us a call. Our numbers are down below. We've actually had a few of you guys reach out this week, and I'm super duper excited about it. It's only a Tuesday. Make sure you reach out to us, ask us about those grants. But besides that, with that being said, I'm going to share with you a video that we did last month in September. I'm going to put it in the description or somewhere here. And I want you to watch that because I want you to compare the data from August and September in October and see how everything is catapulting and rolling into account. Because November and December, in my opinion, are going to be the worst months to actually have inventory, because I don't think they're going to sell. We're going to look and we're going to see about 30% churn with the listings available. That's my opinion. That is my opinion. I think 30% of listings aren't going to sell anymore. Why? Well, because it's December, Christmas time, all those things, number one. And number two, the interest rates are super high. So those two things just playing a role there, it's going to suck. That's my opinion. Watch the video, look at the data, and see everything, and give us a call when you are ready. Or if you just have any questions, that's kind of what we do. But I appreciate you being here. I'll see you on the next one. Watch the video. Peace.